So here is a synopsis from last week. We read about a celestial voice which rose and warned all the devas to depart from the place where the great sacrifice was happening as soon as possible, otherwise they will be punished. Hearing to the voice of the sky, those devas were very shocked. And on the other side, the Ganas who were defeated by the spiritual power of Brigu sought refuge in Shiva. They narrated him everything that transpired there at the place. They told him that how Sati was greatly disrespected by her own father, who had turned wicked and haughty. They explained him that that there was no space, no place being kept for Rudra, for you, and that's the reason why Sati got so angry. But Daksha continuously kept on disrespecting Rudra as well as Sati. And Sati couldn't take it, and she casted off her body into the fire. And this led to a big fight between the Ganas as well as the spiritually, how what Brigu created out of his mantras. So they were all stricken with grief and fear, so they requested him to free them of the fear. Listening to that, Shiva became very angry, very angry. He called Narada and asked him to explain everything that had happened, and Narada narrated the same thing. That made Shiva very angry. He plucked a cluster of his matted hair and he struck the mountain. That cluster actually split into two. One part of the cluster formed actually Veerabhadra was born out of the first half of the cluster, and Veerabhadra was none. He was a very, very powerful, so he was very powerful, powerful enough to destroy the whole universe, powerful enough to do anything. So nothing was impossible for Veerabhadra. And the second half of the cluster produced Mahakali, which was very ferocious, and she was accompanied by hundreds of crores of the goblins. From the furious breath of Shiva, there were almost 100 fevers and 13 humors that came out. Veerabhadra, after coming out, he asked Shiva and asked him to command him and tell him to do what he desires for Veerabhadra to do for him. What can he do for him? Shiva commanded him. He gave him the boon to be victorious. He commanded him. He told him to go to the place where the great sacrifice is happening and destroy everything, burn down everything. If the gods come in your way, he commanded him to destroy them, to burn them, be it Vishnu, be it anyone. If anybody comes to oppose him, he told him to just burn them down. Not just the ones who were there. He told them that, burn Daksha, burn everyone who's there, burn their wives, burn their kinsmen, and just destroy. And he also warned them that it could be when you will go, they might try to praise you, but do not fall into that trap, but follow my command, just destroy it. And once you destroy everything, have some water. So this is where we read till last time, and that was chapter 32. Today is chapter 33 and 34. Our English reader is Sunita Aunty and Hindi reader is Alpana Aunty. If anybody wants to read Shivpuran, you could contact Seema Aunty, Mansi Aunty, or myself. Jai Guruji. Happy Valentine's Day.
Jai Guruji. Shukrana to Guruji for granting me this seva, and apologies in advance for any errors. The March of Veerabhadra. Brahma said, on hearing these words of Lord Shiva with great respect, Veerabhadra was highly delighted. He bowed to him. Receiving his command with his head bowed down in reverence, Veerabhadra set off immediately to the place of sacrifice. To add luster to the campaign, Shiva sent crores of Ganas, very valorous and equal to the fire of dissolution. Those powerful Ganas, enthusiastic and gay, both preceded and followed Veerabhadra. All the personal attendants of Kala Kala, assuming the form of Rudra, accompanied Veerabhadra in their hundreds and thousands. Accompanied by these Ganas, the noble-souled Veerabhadra, who had the same dress, features and embellishments as Shiva, went ahead in a chariot. He had 1,000 arms like hoods of the serpent king. He was powerful and terrifying. The chariots numbered as many as 2,000 nalvas of land could contain. 10,000 lions pulled the chariots strenuously. Many strong lions, tigers, crocodiles, huge fishes, and thousands of elephants constituted his bodyguard. When Veerabhadra set off quickly for slaying Daksha, a shower of flowers fell there let loose by the divine Kalpa tree. During the festivities of their march, the Ganas eulogized the heroic Veerabhadra, who was carrying out the job of Shiva, and they exhibited their enthusiasm. Mahakali went ahead for the destruction of Daksha, accompanied by 9 Durgas, viz. Kali, Katyayani, Ishani, Chamunda, Mundramardini, Bhadrakali, Bhadra, Twaritka, and Vaishnavi and the goblins. Eager in executing the command of Shiva, they accompanied the marching heroes, Dakini, Sakini, Bhutas, Pramathas, Guyakas, Kusumandas, Parpatas, Chatakas, Brahma Rakshasas, Bhairavas, and Kshetrapalas, and set out quickly for the destruction of Daksha's sacrifice. The host of yoginis, with their 64 groups, set out angrily and hurriedly to destroy Daksha's sacrifice. O Narada, listen to the numerical strength of the most important and courageous of those groups. The chief of Ganas, Sankukarna, went ahead with 10 crores of his attendants. Kekaraksha with 10 crores and Vikrata with 8 crores. Vishakha with 64 crores. Pariyatraka with 9 crores. Sarvankaka and the heroic Vikratanana, each with 6 crores. The chief of Ganas, Jwalakesha, went with 12 crores. Dhiman with 7 crores. And Dudraba with 8 crores. Kapalisa with 5 crores and Sandaraka group with 6 crores. Kotikunda with crores of crores. Vishtambha, the most excellent of the Ganas, went with 64 crores of heroes. Oh dear, Sanada and Pipala went with 1,000 crores. Aveshana went with 8 crores and Chandrapatna 2 with 8 crores. Mahavesha, the chief of Ganas, was accompanied by 1,000 crores. O sage, Kundi, the most excellent of the Ganas, and Pavataka went each with 12 crores in order to destroy Daksha's sacrifice. Kala, Kalaka, and Mahakala went to the sacrifice of Daksha with 100 crores. Agnikrit with 100 crores. Agnimukha with 1 crore. Aditya Murdha and Ganavaha each with 1 crore. Sannaha with 100 crores. Kumuda with 1 crore. Amogha and Kokila, the chief of Ganas, each with 1 crore of crores. Kashtagura, Sukeshi, Vrishabha, and Sumantraka, the chief of Ganas, oh dear, each went with 64 crores. Kaka Padodara and Santanaka, both excellent chiefs of Ganas, went with 60 crores each. Mahabala as well as Pungava went with 9 crores each. Oh dear, the chief of Ganas, Madhupinga, was the leader of 90 crores. Purnabhadra also started with as many attendants. Chaturvaktra, the chief of Ganas, started with 100 crores. Virupaksha, the lord of Ganas, with 64 crores. So also the chief of Ganas, Talaketu, Sadasya, Panchayasa. O sage, Samvartaka, Kulisa, Swayam Prabhu, Lokantaka, Diptatma, Daityantaka, Brinkikriti, Deva Devapriya, Ashani, and Bhalaka, each with 64,000 Ganas. Thus, at the bidding of Shiva, the heroic Veerabhadra went ahead, followed by crores and crores, thousands and thousands, hundreds and hundreds of gunners. The hero was accompanied by thousands of crores of goblins and 3 crores of canine species born of the hair of Shiva. He went ahead quickly. Trumpets and drums sounded loudly. Conches blew in diverse ways. Horns of all kinds were blown. In that joyous festivity, various musical instruments were played in a pleasing manner. While the march of Veerabhadra was in progress, O great sage, many pleasing fortuitous omens occurred. Chapter 34. The Devas witnessed bad omens at the place of sacrifice. Brahma said, when Veerabhadra set off thus, bad omens were seen by Daksha and the Devas. O celestial sage, when Veerabhadra accompanied by the gunners proceeded thus, many portentous phenomena occurred at the sacrifice of Daksha, including the 3 evil omens boding imminent destruction of Daksha's sacrifice. The left eye, arm and thigh of Daksha throbbed. In every respect, it is indicated everything inauspicious. It was harassing to him. There was an earthquake at the site of sacrifice. Daksha observed the mysterious phenomena of stars at noon. The quarters became dirty and gloomy. The sun appeared spotted and terrifying with thousands of circlets all around. Stars, brilliant like lightning and blazing fire, were seen falling. Some of them went zigzag and some fell with face downwards. Thousands of vultures hovered above, touching Daksha's head. Shadows of these darkened the sacrificial platform. Jackals howled in the surroundings of the sacrificial ground. The evil star Netraka and meteors seemed to fall like white scorpions. Rough winds raising a lot of dust blew there. Locusts and moths were tossed about by whirlwinds. The wonderfully new sacrificial platform erected by Daksha and the Devas was thrown up by the winds. Surprisingly enough, Daksha and others vomited blood, pieces of flesh and bones very frequently. They became unsteady and tremulous like lamps blown by wind. They felt miserable as if struck with the sharp edges of weapons. The eyes of Daksha and others sometimes resemble the fading lotuses of the summer. Sometimes they resemble the flowers in forests with dews trickling from them. Sometimes they seem like lotuses at night and sometimes like Kumuda flowers in the forenoon. The deities seemed to shower blood. The quarters became enveloped in darkness. There was a peculiar blaze everywhere, terrifying all. O sage, Devas and others saw such evil portents as these. Vishnu and others were struck with great fear. Ha, we are doomed. Saying thus, they fell unconscious on the ground like trees on the edges of rivers when felled by the force of the current. Fallen on the ground, they remained motionless like cruel serpents, struck dead. Sometimes those fallen bounced up like balls. Then, due to extreme distress, they cried like twittering sparrows. Their groans and their voices got confusingly mingled with each other. Everyone, including Vishnu, had their power blunted and impeded. They rolled and dashed against one another like tortoises. In the meantime, a disembodied voice arose there within the hearing of the Devas, and that of Daksha particularly. The ethereal voice said, "Fie upon your life now, O Daksha. You are evil-minded and excessively foolish. Great misery caused by Shiva will inevitably befall you. Certainly great misery will befall those foolish Devas and others who are here crying out, ha ha." Brahma said, on hearing that voice of the sky and seeing those ill omens, Daksha was terribly afraid. The others, Devas, etc., too followed suit. Trembling miserably and utterly shaken, Daksha sought refuge in Vishnu, the consort of Lakshmi and his own lord. Making humble obeisance in his fright and eulogizing his mental distress, he said thus to Vishnu, endearing to his own men. That finishes the English reading, and Alpana Aunty will read in Hindi. Jai Guruji. Happy Valentine's Day to all.
जय गुरुजी। बहुत बहुत शुक्राना गुरुजी कि उन्होंने मुझे ये सेवा प्रदान की। और आज हम अध्याय 33 और 34 पढ़ेंगे। प्रमथ गणों सहित वीरभद्र और महाकाली का दक्ष यज्ञ विध्वंस के लिए प्रस्थान। दक्ष तथा देवताओं को अपशकुन एवं उत्पात सूचक लक्षणों का दर्शन एवं भय होगा। ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं, नारद, महेश्वर के इस वचन को आदरपूर्वक सुनकर वीरभद्र बहुत संतुष्ट हुए। उन्होंने महेश्वर को प्रणाम किया। तत्पश्चात उन देवाधिदेव शूली की उपर्युक्त आज्ञा को शिरोधार्य करके वीरभद्र वहां से शीघ्र ही दक्ष के यज्ञ मंडप की ओर चले। भगवान शिव ने केवल शोभा के लिए उनके साथ करोड़ों महावीर गणों को भेज दिया, जो प्रलय अग्नि के सामने तेजस्वी थे। वे कौतूहलकारी प्रबल वीर प्रमथ गण वीरभद्र के आगे और पीछे भी चल रहे थे। काल के भी काल भगवान रुद्र के वीरभद्र सहित जो लाखों पार्षद गण थे, उन सबका स्वरूप रुद्र के ही समान था। उन गणों के साथ महात्मा वीरभद्र भगवान शिव के समान ही वेशभूषा धारण किए रथ पर बैठकर यात्रा कर रहे थे। उनके एक सहस्त्र भुजाएं थी, शरीर में नागराज लिपटे हुए थे। वीरभद्र बड़े प्रबल और भयंकर दिखाई देते थे। उनका रथ बहुत ही विशाल था। उसमें 10,000 सींग जोते जाते थे, जो प्रयत्न पूर्वक उस रथ को खींचते थे। उसी प्रकार बहुत से प्रबल सींग, शार्दूल, मगर, मत्स्य और सहस्त्रों हाथी उस रथ के पार्श्व भाग की रक्षा करते थे। काली, कात्यायनी, ईशानी, चामुंडा, मुंडमर्दिनी, भद्रकाली, भद्रा, त्वरिता तथा वैष्णवी, इन नव दुर्गाओं के साथ तथा समस्त भूत गणों के साथ महाकाली दक्ष का विनाश करने के लिए चली। डाकिनी, शाकिनी, भूत, प्रमथ, गुहाक, कूष्मांड, परपट, चटक, ब्रह्म राक्षस, भैरव तथा क्षेत्रपाल आदि ये सभी वीर भगवान शिव की आज्ञा का पालन एवं दक्ष यज्ञ का विनाश करने के लिए तुरंत चल दिए। इनके सिवा 64 गणों के साथ योगिनियों का मंडल भी सहसा कुपित हो दक्ष यज्ञ का विनाश करने के लिए वहां से प्रस्थित हुए। इस प्रकार कोटि कोटि गण एवं विभिन्न प्रकार के गणाधीश वीरभद्र के साथ चले। उस समय भेरियों की गंभीर ध्वनि होने लगी। नाना प्रकार के शब्द करने वाले शंख बज उठे। भिन्न भिन्न प्रकार की सींगें बजने लगी। महामुने, सेना सहित वीरभद्र की यात्रा के समय वहां बहुत से सुखद शकुन होने लगे। इस प्रकार जब प्रमथ गणों सहित वीरभद्र ने प्रस्थान किया, तब उधर दक्ष तथा देवताओं को बहुत से अशुभ लक्षण दिखाई देने लगे। देवर्षि यज्ञ विध्वंस की सूचना देने वाले त्रिविध उत्पात प्रकट होने लगे। दक्ष की बाईं आंख, बाईं भुजा और बाईं जांघ फड़कने लगी। तात, वाम अंगों का यह फड़कना सर्वथा अशुभ सूचक था और नाना प्रकार के कष्ट मिलने की सूचना दे रहा था। उस समय दक्ष की यज्ञशाला में धरती डोलने लगी। दक्ष को दोपहर के समय दिन में ही अद्भुत तारे दिखने लगे। दिशाएं मलिन हो गईं। सूर्यमंडल चितकबरा दिखने लगा। उस पर हजारों घेरे पड़ गए, जिससे वह भयंकर जान पड़ता था। बिजली और अग्नि के समान दीप्तिमान तारे टूट टूट कर गिरने लगे तथा और भी बहुत से भयानक अपशकुन होने लगे। इस बीच में वहां आकाशवाणी प्रकट हुई, जो संपूर्ण देवताओं और विशेषता दक्ष को अपनी बात सुनाने लगी। आकाशवाणी बोली, ओ दक्ष, आज तेरे जन्म को धिक्कार है। तू महामूढ़ और पापात्मा है। भगवान हर की ओर से आज तुझे महान दुख प्राप्त होगा, जो किसी तरह टल नहीं सकता। अब यहाँ तेरा हाहाकार भी नहीं सुनाई देगा। जो मूढ़ देवता आदि तेरे यज्ञ में स्थित हैं, उनको भी महान दुख होगा, इसमें संशय नहीं है। ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं, मुने, आकाशवाणी की यह बात सुनकर और पूर्वोक्त अशुभ सूचक लक्षणों को देखकर दक्ष तथा दूसरे देवता आदि को भी अत्यंत भय प्राप्त हुआ। उस समय दक्ष मन ही मन अत्यंत व्याकुल हो कांपने लगे और अपने प्रभु लक्ष्मीपति भगवान विष्णु की शरण में गए। वे भद्र से अधीर हो बेसुध हो रहे थे। उन्होंने स्वजन वत्सल देवादिदेव भगवान विष्णु को प्रणाम किया और उनकी स्तुति करके कहा। इसी के साथ अध्याय 33 और 34 यहीं पे समाप्त होता है। जय गुरु जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्राना फॉर गिविंग मी दिस डिवाइन सेवा। जय गुरु जी।